Previously on Redbeard's Garage. It should be 290s, and now we can see if it's the width we needed it. So that's perfect. I wanted it to fall dead on those two bars. Now we can just, I've got it marked out to cut the leg length.
Doing my Vanna White thing.
Fan. It looks pretty sweet. It just looks like it would help to have one little bend in it. So I think I'm gonna test fire 45 degree angle. You always want to release the spring back on the tube and check it. It's the nicest government works. Let's check it, see how accurate that was. Look at that. A little bit off, but who cares? I like it.
It's 45-ish.
That's dead even. Kind of. What do you think about that? Lower this.
Somebody pulled off my legs. Now I had to live like a worm.
Looks sick. So we're going to be pulling apart one of the Go Power Sports rear 150 shocks. We've already did one, so you can see there's the shock, there's the coil spring, and there's the top cap. The reason we're doing this so we can test out our suspension without the pressure of the spring, and we can make sure our engine isn't going to have any clearance issues. So if you see there's a nut on the bottom side of this top cap, we need to break that nut loose, and then we can hold that nut with a wrench once we thread it all the way down at the bottom of the threads, and we can break this top cap loose and then slide everything off. We're starting out with the Coleman 17mm wrench. These comes with the Coleman mini box. They're really thin is the reason I'm using this, and we can hammer it in between the coil springs to get on that nut. It is a 17mm. All right, okay, first we need to make sure the preload's off of the shock. I'm gonna do that now. You can preload these shocks to make them stiffer or weaker. There we go, preload's off, 17mm wrench. He's just rotating it up to get it up on that. Alright, so he's going to rotate that nut all the way down to the bottom of the threads, which it's already there. Go ahead and hold that. And I'm going to break this top cap loose. There we go. And this is really handy if you use 150 shocks a lot, to keep a set of these for just testing things. You can see we got that off. The pull spring pulls right off, and there's that nut. So now we can basically, if you want, you can also pull the adjuster, the preload adjuster off. We didn't do that on the last one. Then we can just thread this right back on. Just going to tighten this down back the way it was factory. So if you notice now, that's the full extended. We can push it easily down. It takes a minute to pull it back up, but that's going to allow us to test our travel. There's not a ton of suspension travel on these 150 shocks, but it's what we have, and this is our first semi-independent build, so we want to do something simple. Later on we'll build something more aggressive.
18-inch travel.
74-inch ride height.
Where'd their boss go?
I don't know, he probably had a tinkle.
He's checking his coffee.
That's what he's doing.
So we're making this brake bracket. We took a piece of, was that 3/8 flat stock?
Yeah, inch and a half, 3/8.
Inch and a half by 3/8 flat stock. We came down with the brace from the frame. Then we're going to come off the back with another one, and that should mount our caliper. Then we can pull the caliper off, fully weld it, what knots and what hatches. All right, so we're going to demonstrate how this suspension works with those shocks off. So Matthew, you hold down on yours.
Springs off of the shocks.
With the springs off of the shocks. So that's if you hit a bump on this side. And then we'll both pick up. So plenty of clearance. We are golden. So we tightened up the heim joint a little bit. That drew the whole back section in, and we also extended those bolt holes. So now,
what holes?
Bolt. So I mean, it'll never be back that far. We only need like an inch at most to tension the chain. So we got
6 inches now.
Yeah. So now it's more centered in there instead of being so far back, but it looks pretty sick. So now we got to put, I don't have an extra set of these shocks, that's unfortunate. So now we got to put the springs back on the shocks and do the Panhard bar on the rear. We're going to take a piece of tubing, put some heim joints in it, and make that to keep it from swaying side by side. The Panhard bar still allows it to sway side by side. If we did the Watts link, it wouldn't.
The Watts link allows it to.
No, Watts link keeps it dead center, so it won't sway at all. But it's a lot more fabric.
We're gonna put this here, brace in right here.
And I think that'll be, you want to square it up again. Woo, doggy! Woo! Looks like the bottom needs to go in some. Okay, so on this Maxim buggy, we have pretty much the whole rear section built. You can see behind me, we got the Panhard bar and everything mounted. Our shocks are a little stiff, mounted straight up. We wanted to test them like that. Everything is tacked on other than the Panhard bar. The Panhard bar, we knew it was in the right location. We just need to build some braces for it, which I'm about to do next. Weld those on, then I need to cut the top brackets on the shock and lean the top of the shock towards the front of the go-kart. Now, when you're putting your shock straight up and down, they're going to be stiffer. So if you have a problem with your go-kart, you know, the shocks are way too stiff, if you straighten them up, the more straight up they are, the stiffer they'll be. So we're going to lean them forward about 3 inches, re-tack them into place, and I'll have to build longer shock tabs for it. So when I set on the buggy, I want like 1/3 of my suspension travel to squat down, because you need to have equal load going down as well as up. So that'll give me a good, you know, when I hit a pothole, the suspension will go down as well as it has room to go up, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to cut some new tabs. I'm going to go ahead and probably make a 3-inch, I'm going to put the shocks forward 3 inches. So I need to measure how long my tabs need to be at that location. So we need to get those made, tack them on, then, you know, press down on it, see how stiff it is then we can start fully welding all this stuff up.
Now you gonna sit there till the bucket splits or what?
So the bucket's a little too tall for our testing, but it's what we have that it won't roll off of. So if that was down about, I don't know, like 2 inches, we would have all the tires on the ground. Yeah, we have a shorter bucket. Oh boy. So I'm just showing you how much flex it has for such a simple design. I mean, you really just got to build a Panhard bar, which is super simple. It's a piece of tubing and some nuts, some heim joints, and then some ears. And I mean, it took a little bit of fabbing to build this, but it's a lot easier than a semi-independent.
Than a full independent.
Full independent, yeah, begging pardon. Yeah, so we moved the shocks. We slanted them, and that wasn't enough. Then we moved them forward, what, like 5 inches? 4 inches from center of the axle where they was, and that gave us, we still may play with it later, but I think it's going to be soft enough to give you just enough tight suspension so it ain't sloppy in high speeds. Is the Panhard bar clearing everything?
Yeah.
Nothing hitting?
Nothing's hitting.
And that heim joint we use, that tractor link heim joint, is really garbage. It's going to wear out. I think I've heard a lot of people say they're, I mean, it was cheap and low quality. We were just trying to show you how cheap you could do it, but I have, Go Power Sports got me really nice grade 8 heim joint. It's a female. And all we have to do is weld a bolt inside that neck and we'd have it made. So the little stub nose go-kart is getting extremely close. If you remember on the Trailmaster video, I think I showed these mirrors. I bought these for the Trailmaster MB200, and they just look like antennas for a bee. So they end up mounting perfect on this this Maxim car, and I think they look good. And we also have the stock rearview mirror, so that's pretty sweet. Next video, you'll see us mount the battery box as well as the e-brake, because these 150 3-piece brakes, you can see I've already got the calipers on there. Everything clears really nice, but these 150 front and rear brakes has an e-brake on it. So that means anytime we want to, we can yank on that handle and slide the rear end around. So that's going to be awesome. We got this Eba Racing Seat. I never did show installing it, but this is just a $100 free shipping leather racing seat from eBay. It looks pretty sweet in there. That's where we center mounted the steering wheel, and we're going to build a dashboard for it and put some gauges and the choke and everything in the dash on the next video as well. And I know you guys seen the oil cooler. I bought this for a turbo car I built a long time ago, and I never used it. So, you know, this one had a rinky-dink oil cooler on it, so that'll be really nice. I'll put some mesh, guarding it from the rear from sticks and whatnot. Just make sure we don't puncture it on the trail. But next video, we'll be talking about the 780 torque converter as well, what I had to do to adapt it to this engine. If you buy the 780 for like a 670 Predator, you're going to have no problems. It'll bolt right on, everything will work. But there's a few things we need to talk about this leaf end engine to get this torque converter set up to work on it. So that'll all be in the next video. You can see how we mount the shocks. We may play with those again later. We just want to ride it and see how it feels. So yeah. So a lot of stuff coming on the next video. We're going to try to button this whole thing up and get it ready to ride on the next video. Wiring takes forever because I like to wire them exactly how I want it, because I don't want to pull this thing out and start riding it with it half done, because then we'll keep it half done and we'll just keep riding it as you've seen other projects. So let us know what you think of the Maxim down in the comment section below. And guys, we finally hit 100,000 subscribers last night. I'm actually editing this video today, the day you're seeing the video, Friday, and we hit 100,000 last night while we was sleeping. It is the 24th today, and I just want to say thank you so much for your support over the years we've been doing this. I can't, you know, when you start YouTube, you always dream of hitting, you know, 100,000 and getting to these milestones, but you know, I never thought God would bring us this far, and it's amazing what He's done with my life and where He's brought me, and I can't wait to see the future. You know, who knows if I'll stay on YouTube, if God will take me somewhere else in life. You know, that's all due to His plan. But we want to thank you guys so much for your support over the years. We want to thank the people that hate us, thank the people that love us, and just thank everybody for watching the videos, buying the merchandise, supporting Go Power Sports, because at the end of the day, without Go Power Sports, this wouldn't be possible as well. So definitely go use that Redbeard discount code and keep supporting your favorite YouTubers on Go Power Sports. Thank you guys so much. It's amazing. We're going to do some type of special video for 100K, and hopefully YouTube don't take a super long time to get that plaque in the garage, because we want to put it somewhere where everybody will see it on all the videos. And this is crazy. It's amazing that we're at 100K. Like I said, I can't imagine where God will take us. All due in his time. So I've been patient for 100K. We hit 90 and it took us like a solid month to get that other 10,000 subscribers. And it was almost like YouTube's like was taunting me with it, you know what I mean? Like I was gaining like 200 a day, where I was gaining a couple months ago like 1,000 a day. So thank you guys for the support. This is amazing. Now continue watching the build of this hog, and we love you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. God bless. Redbeard's Garage is powered by GoPowersports.com. GoPowersports has a huge amount of awesome go-kart and mini bike parts, and when making your purchase, use the Redbeard discount code in the upper right hand corner of your shopping cart to grab yourself a sweet deal. Hit that subscribe button and make sure the notification bell is on so you'll never miss another episode. And go check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Pinterest to stay up to date with the channel. Guys, always come back to Redbeard's Garage. I'm out.